another live gamble. I'm Holly by golly here in Pierce, South Dakota. How's everybody on this beautiful Saturday afternoon? Well, at least it's beautiful here. So, wanted to welcome you to our today's event is Happy Father's Day this weekend, which will be tomorrow. And all the dads, the fathers, the papas. I know we have a lot of different names for our family. So, just wanted to send a shout out to my dad. This is him when he was in the military. He's not with us any longer, but we do have a little commemorative thing that hangs in our house, and that's a bathing suit that he used to wear a long time ago. And we have all my brothers and sister, we all have that same picture with a piece of his bathing suit framed in that same frame. So today we're going to talk a little bit about Daddy's ties and what you can do with them as a commemorative for your special person. And then we're going to go into the spool horizontal holder for holding its extra spool. So hope you guys are ready for a little bit of fun and inspiration. And thanks for joining us. So here we go. So what we've got here is, like we all do, we have extra ties. And that we've got or inherited, or you get them from the, Vicki, you're giving me funny looks.
Sorry, I can't get it to zoom in, or zoom out.
Zoom out.
Okay, we're just going with it.
Okay. Well, what I do is I usually would just take a regular tie and just cut it open, and then I will iron interfacing onto the back side of it. So I use 906F from Pellon. It's the same thing I use on my t-shirt quilts. And you can get different shapes if you open them all up. Now on the big part of the point, that is this part right here, you can, when you open that up and iron it, you can get some nice 5-inch squares. Then I cut a lot of them into 2.5-inch strips. And then I even save the inside pieces because a lot of them do have wool in them. So then you can go on to using the wool for other projects. And there's also other silks that maybe you can use for pin cushions and whatever other maybe some handwork that you do. But there's a lot of nice pieces in a lot of these old ties. So this is just something that I just kind of was playing with, trying to figure out something fun to do with that. So again, if you have any thoughts or suggestions, I know we see a lot of stuff on Pinterest using them. So I have a few laid out here. And this was one way that you could just kind of put them together. If you don't want to cut them up, you could just kind of zigzag stitch them together and have some type of nice layout. You can also take a tie and you can do some weaving, and that would give a fun presentation too. And I've seen those quilts done like that as well. So it just depends on what it is that you think you might want to try. We also, there's so many different fun ties out there. We've got Mickey Mouse here, we've got a fisherman ties. I know through the years I gave my dad many ties, not that he wore them, but it was still kind of one of those funny things that you would just kind of pick up that represented something fun with your dad. And of course my husband, Farley, he's gotten some funny ones over the years as well. So we also, with Daddy's ties, there's also Daddy's shirts, and Vicki made a pillow here using a shirt. A nice pillow. So that represents, again, some special memories when you see clothing for your dad. And here's some other fun ones. I don't know, these are kind of funny. Kind of fun, just kind of bright. Alrighty, any questions or anything going on?
No, not yet.
Not yet, okay. So here we go. So today we're going to talk about the horizontal spoon holder. Now, depending on the size of your machine will determine the placement. I have a 30-inch head, so on mine, it sits right back here. There's a screw right back here that just unscrews. Take the screw off, and you would just screw your horizontal spoon holder right here. Now that would also apply to the 22-inch head and the 26-inch head, so it's going to be right in front of the motor board. So that's right there. And when you're not using it, people get very creative. Depending on what you're doing, you would use it in different locations. You can take this spoon, you have a spoon holder here that can fit. This one comes out and you can put it up here. And of course you would adjust your thread guides and your tensions depending on what you're trying to achieve with your quilting. If you're using specialty threads and whatnot, you again would determine your tension for your project. So as we go along over here, this is the 18.8 Vision 2. Now on the shorter machine, this horizontal, now here is the horizontal, I've got one here on this one machine attached. So it's just a matter of taking the screw on and off. As this screws off, you would just screw the top in and it sits right on here. On this one, it sits on the back of the motor belt. And then there's a little hole at the very top of this that it just screws on. There's really no installation to it. It's just a matter of screwing it in. And on mine, if you could, Vicki, go around that side there, you can see how it's threaded. I've got my top thread coming off here. I've got my cone thread coming up. Now you don't thread your extra thread through the up and over, but as it goes in, they will both thread through this the disc here, up and through here again together, and everything else does continue to be as normal. And then you're going to put both threads through the eye of the needle. And it gives a nice effect. I have found that during play that you can make your own variegated thread. So on my Vision here, I've got my different stitches. I've got constant, my regulate, and my coast regulate buttons up here. And then we're just going to do a simple stitch and just play a little bit and then let you know how that works with two threads. Now I've got a pink on my top, I've got pink in the bobbin, and then I've got the gold on the cone. Now you will have to balance your weights and your tensions again for determine what project you're doing, how many thicknesses of fabric you're going through, your batting and your backing. So all that will be dependent on your own project. So I'm just going to take a single stitch. We're going to pull up our bobbin thread. And make sure, now you're going to have to make sure you have all three of your threads this time, and they all go along. So as you start and stop, you get a little close look. You can see I've made my own variegated thread. You can see the pink coming through. You got a really nice stitch. And you can see that yellow coming in as well. So if you cannot always find your perfect variegated thread, you can kind of make your own. And then you would just pull up your bobbin thread as normal and continue on to your next spot. Any questions?
Not yet.
No? Okay. And then this is just another example of some ties that Vicki was playing with. And so this has lots of different thicknesses. So again, you would adjust your tension for your spoon holder, your spool holder. There's lots of, alrighty. And here's another example of some shirts that we used. So again, it is just a fun thing that you can try with a horizontal spool holder. You can actually have a couple different threads and kind of interchange them. So it holds it really nice. There's also a different thread guides. You can get pigtail thread guides for your machine as well if you talk to your dealer. That makes it a little bit easier for, again, whatever your project is. If you're going to be working with other fabrics and your specialty threads, those are options.
I don't know what those are.
What do you mean?
Pigtail.
I do not have one on this machine, but it's a little thread guide that sits in the front of the machine, and it actually looks like a little pigtail. Pigtail. See this thread guide here? See how this one comes around like that? Those are the ones that are along the machine, but you can get a little pigtail guide that would sit differently, and it curls so your thread can guide.
Okay.
There's a couple different holes on that.
Got it.
Any other? No, it's pretty easy. We're just trying to keep you guys entertained and have some fun. I am sporting my new Gamble hat, which I'm loving. So if anybody needs a Gamble hat, feel free to reach out to your dealer and get one. All right. have fun, give it a try. I talked to Karen Marchetti the other day, and she said she loves it and just has fun with it. I do most of my work on my Statler, so I guess you can do it with that, but it's not something I've had a chance to play with yet. So as I keep saying, keep trying, keep having fun, and keep playing. So until next time, a happy Father's Day to all those dads out there, and a shout out to my husband Farley. Happy Father's Day. And until next time, this is Holly by Golly in Pierce, South Dakota. See you next time.